Hey everyone, Kelly Dean Allen here again. Time for another simple solo for you budding soloists out there, or for anyone really who wants to learn this pretty famous guitar solo, To Wind of Change by Rudolph Schenker and the Scorpions. So then we are in standard tuning for this tutorial. We're going to be soloing in the key of A minor using the A natural minor scale. This scale right here. And the solo goes something like this. Pretty much it. One little flub there. So then we're starting on the B string at the 5th fret. We're going to hit that and then we're going to roll down to the 5th fret of the high E. Drop onto the 7, pick it twice, and the second time you're going to give it a little half step bend release. Right? And then you're going to repeat that, but the second time you do that bend, you're going to give it a little double pump. Something like that. And then immediately after that little double pump of that 8, right, you're going to jump up here to the 10th fret of the high E for a double bend. Some nice vibrato on it, right? When I'm bending these notes and showing this slowly, I'm going to drop the vibrato out of it because it kind of loses its effectiveness, and it's kind of hard to do vibrato, when you're slowing things down. But that's the opening of the solo. And then we're into this. So we're going to back it up to the 5 of the high E. We're going to go 5, 7, 8. And then back to the 7, pull it off to 5. And then you're going to jump up to the 8 of the B, back to the 5 of the high E, and back to the 8 of the B for a full step bend. Right? With some vibrato on it. And then we're into that, just 8 off to 5, back onto 8. Full step bend release, right? And then we're into this. So we're going to go 5 onto 6 of the B string, and then we're going to take that 6, put it into a full step bend. And then you're going to release it back off to 5. And then immediately grab the 7 of the G, back to the 5 of the B, and then back to the 7 again. And then you're going to take that 7, full step bend, release it off to 5, back onto 7. Right? And then we're going to finish the first half of the solo with this. So we're going to jump up here to the 9 of the G, drop onto the 10 of the B, and then onto the 12. And when you go onto that 12, you're going to give it a triple bend. You're only going to pick the first note and kind of bend, release, right? And after the third bend, you're going to drop your pinky onto the 12 of the high E, and then release that bend on the B string. Back to the natural note, right? And then we jump up here to 15 of the high E, double bend, full step bend, into this. Just release it back to the natural note at 15, off to 13, off to 12. And then just a little trill between 12 and 13 back to 12. And that's the first half of the solo. And then we're into this. G string, starting on the 2nd fret, into 5, back to 4. We're going to slide back into that 4, onto 5, onto 7, slide it into 9. Back off to 7, back on to 9. And then we're going to go back off to 7 again. And then you're going to go back onto that 9 for a little half step bend release. And back off to 7. And then at this point the rhythm shifts off to E major, and we're going to jump into the E major scale for the final couple of notes. Right there, 14th fret of the high E, bend release off to 12. Back onto that 14 for a full step bend, and that's the end of the solo. So, from the beginning, nice and slow, and then we'll be done. Now, I should mention there's a couple of lines within this solo that there's harmony playing underneath. The whole solo is not harmonized. There's just a couple of lines that there's harmony going on underneath for like 5 or 6 notes. And we're not really going to get into that, but into those harmonies. But that's the main solo right there that Rudolph is playing. And I think Matthias Jobs is kind of underneath it, playing a couple of notes here and there. And that, my friends, is how you play the solo to Wind of Change by Rudolph Schenker and the Scorpions. Certainly hope you enjoyed that, found it helpful. If you did, please hit that like button right down there. Maybe drop me a subscribe if you haven't done that already, as that would be very kind. Hope you're well out there in your little guitar corner of the world, and we will see you next time. Cheers.